November marks anniversary of revelations that shattered careers versus authenticity calculations. Moments when actors chose truth over profitable lies, risking everything they'd built because living fractured versions of themselves became unsustainable, regardless of how much money, fame, or industry acceptance that hiding protected from discrimination, designed destroying honest people. These weren't planned publicity strategies. These were breaking points where psychological toll of closeting exceeded fear of professional consequences, demonstrating that human beings can only perform heterosexuality for so long before something inside breaks, forcing choice between authentic living and continued success within systems demanding conformity as admission price for opportunities that previous generations died pursuing without ever accessing. From Zachary Quinto's November 2011 coming out after teen suicide tragedy, to Bob Harper's November 2013 revelation connecting fitness expertise with authentic living, to historical November moments proving that coming out is never easy, despite progress claiming it's safer. These anniversaries honor warriors who risked everything because silence was killing them slowly, while industry profited from their performances of straightness. Number 3 came out November 2013 on Biggest Loser platform. Number 1's 2011 revelation followed Jamie Rodemeyer's suicide. Which November coming out mattered most? Subscribe because these moments cost everything, and we must honor that sacrifice. 1. Zachary Quinto, November 2011. Star Trek revelation. Zachary Quinto came out October 16, 2011 in New York Magazine interview. Revelation followed by November blog post explaining that 14-year-old Jamie Rodemeyer's September suicide after anti-gay bullying made silence feel complicit, proving that sometimes tragedy forces visibility when career protection calculations suddenly seem obscene compared to lives being destroyed by discrimination. October 16, 2011. New York Magazine interview. Discussing Angels in America Broadway performance, Zachary casually mentioned, "As a gay man, it made me feel like there's still so much work to be done." That phrase, "as a gay man," changed everything for actor whose Star Trek franchise and Heroes fame seemed jeopardized by authenticity that industry historically punished through systematic exclusion from leading roles requiring heterosexual image. Here's what made his coming out particularly significant for action hero representation. Zachary played Spock, science fiction icon in rebooted Star Trek franchise requiring multiple sequels spanning years. His revelation risked that franchise continuity when studios historically replaced openly gay actors, believing audiences couldn't accept them in roles requiring perceived straight authenticity regardless of actual performance quality. The November blog post elaborated motivation. Jamie Rodemeyer's September 18, 2011 suicide devastated Zachary. 14-year-old bullied to death for being openly himself while adult celebrities with platforms remained closeted protecting careers. That calculation suddenly felt morally indefensible when teenagers died seeking role models that successful actors refused providing through continued hiding, prioritizing professional safety over community responsibility. But his timing revealed calculated risk. Zachary came out between Star Trek films. Into Darkness wouldn't shoot until January 2012. This spacing provided buffer, allowing gauging audience reaction before filming commenced, demonstrating that even brave coming-outs involve strategic timing, minimizing immediate professional jeopardy when possible, rather than requiring complete disregard for career consequences. The industry response validated his gamble. Paramount kept him as Spock for remaining franchise films, proving that studios could tolerate openly gay actors in major roles when commercial calculations suggested that replacing proven performer would damage franchise more than sexuality revelation. This precedent mattered enormously for actors watching whether honesty meant automatic career death. His American Horror Story role as Gay Ghost added interesting timing dimension. Zachary played explicitly gay character while deciding whether to come out publicly, demonstrating how actors navigate public versus private authenticity when professional roles depict orientation that personal life conceals through strategic media management protecting careers from discrimination. But here's where Zachary's November commemoration becomes annual reminder about visibility's costs. His coming out inspired countless people, yet it also meant accepting reduced opportunities, typecasting risks, and ongoing questions about sexuality that straight actors never face when their personal lives remain professionally irrelevant, rather than becoming primary lens through which their work gets evaluated. The 14-year anniversary in November 2025 marks generational shift. Zachary's 2011 risk seems quaint now when younger actors come out before achieving fame, yet his generation's courage created permission structures enabling that earlier visibility by proving that honesty didn't automatically destroy careers when talent and audience acceptance aligned properly. His relationship with Miles McKellen became visible only after coming out. Zachary's partnership demonstrates how authentic living enables building relationships publicly rather than maintaining bachelor facade protecting closeted image, proving that professional risk enabled personal fulfillment that systematic hiding prevented when career protection required complete identity suppression. Today, Zachary Quinto's October 2011 coming out and November blog anniversary celebrate actor who chose visibility after teen tragedy made silence feel complicit. His revelation proved that franchise stars could survive coming out, creating precedent for action heroes and sci-fi leads accessing authentic living without automatic career destruction. Drop a 1 if you think Zachary Quinto's November 2011 coming out anniversary reminds us that sometimes tragedy forces visibility, and that teen suicides make celebrity silence feel morally indefensible regardless of career protection calculations. 2. Bob Harper, November 2013. Biggest Loser revelation. Bob Harper came out November 2013 during Biggest Loser Season 15. Fitness guru revealing sexuality on reality TV platform reaching millions, proving that mainstream family-friendly programming could handle gay visibility when personalities brought value transcending their orientation, that audiences learned accepting when given authentic representation rather than being protected from it. November 2013. Biggest Loser episode. Contestant Bobby Salim shared fear about coming out to family. Bob responded by revealing his own experience. "I'm gay and I knew a very long time ago that I was gay. Being gay doesn't mean that you are less than anybody else, it's just who you are." That moment transformed fitness guru into visible role model for audiences who'd watched him for years without knowing this fundamental identity aspect. Here's what made Bob's coming out particularly significant for reality TV representation. He'd been Biggest Loser trainer since 2004. 9 years building credibility and audience devotion before revealing sexuality. This established trust meant audiences accepted revelation rather than rejecting him, proving that visibility works better after demonstrating value that makes sexual orientation irrelevant to why people appreciate you. The timing during contestants' coming out struggle demonstrated authentic empathy. Bob didn't plan strategic revelation. Bobby Salim's fear about family acceptance prompted honest response sharing parallel experience. This spontaneous authenticity created genuine connection rather than rehearsed coming out statement that media coaching and publicist involvement sometimes make feel manufactured rather than meaningful. But his November revelation sparked conversation about fitness industry's toxic masculinity. Bob's openness challenged assumptions about gay men's physical capabilities, athletic achievements, and ability inspiring straight clients when heteronormative culture claims that authentic gay visibility threatens masculine credibility despite no logical connection between sexuality and training expertise. The immediate support from Biggest Loser producers and NBC validated his risk. Network didn't fire him or minimize his presence. Bob continued as head trainer for remaining seasons, proving that family-friendly programming could feature openly gay personalities when their expertise and audience connection transcended identity that network executives feared might alienate conservative viewers. His age at coming out, 48, represented generation that built careers while closeted. Bob's delayed visibility demonstrated how pervasive discrimination was, requiring hiding throughout career building before feeling safe, revealing truth only after establishing such strong professional foundation that coming out couldn't completely destroy everything he'd worked building through decades of strategic identity management. But here's where Bob's November anniversary becomes meditation on partial visibility. He'd never explicitly lied about sexuality. Friends and industry knew. His coming out was public acknowledgement rather than personal revelation, demonstrating how celebrities navigate glass closets where open secrets remain professionally unacknowledged until formal disclosure makes orientation officially discussable rather than maintained as polite fiction. The heart attack he survived in 2017 added urgency to living authentically. Bob's near-death experience 4 years after coming out likely reinforced decision to stop hiding, demonstrating how mortality awareness sometimes accelerates choices to live honestly, when realizing that career protection means nothing if you die without ever being yourself publicly. His subsequent work advocating for LGBTQ+ health and fitness demonstrated how visibility enables activism. Bob's platform expanded after coming out, using fitness expertise to serve community members facing unique health challenges that closeted trainer couldn't address openly when maintaining straight public image prevented discussing community-specific needs. Today, Bob Harper's November 2013 coming out anniversary celebrates fitness guru who used contestants' vulnerability to share his own truth. His revelation proved that reality TV could handle gay visibility, and that audiences valued trainers' expertise regardless of sexuality that heteronormative assumptions claimed would alienate family programming viewers. Drop a 2 if you think Bob Harper's November 2013 coming out proves mainstream reality. TV can handle gay visibility, and that established value makes sexuality irrelevant when audiences already appreciate someone's contributions. 3. Jonathan Knight, November 2009, forced outing aftermath. Jonathan Knight faced forced outing November 2009 when ex-boyfriend threatened selling story to tabloids. New Kids on the Block member choosing to confirm truth publicly rather than letting extortionist control narrative, demonstrating how coming out is never fully voluntary when threats of exposure eliminate all agency over timing, context, and whether to come out at all. November 2009. Tiffany's radio interview sparked crisis. She casually outed Jonathan discussing his sexuality without permission, prompting ex-boyfriend threatening to sell tell-all unless Jonathan paid him off. Faced with extortion or public confirmation, Jonathan chose honesty. But that choice was coerced rather than autonomous when external forces eliminated all alternative options. Here's what makes Jonathan's forced outing particularly devastating example of visibility's complications. He built entire New Kids on the Block career, 1984 to 1994, while closeted, enduring teen heartthrob marketing requiring heterosexual image that boy bands demanded from members whose actual orientations became professional liabilities, threatening groups' commercial viability depending on female fans' romantic fantasies about accessibility. The anxiety and panic disorder that ended his initial NKOTB run likely connected to closeting's psychological toll. Jonathan left group in 1994 citing mental health issues, decades later revealing that hiding fundamental identity aspect while performing heterosexual teen idol contributed to psychological crisis forcing career abandonment when suppression became literally unsustainable medically. But the 2008 NKOTB reunion occurred while he was still closeted publicly. Jonathan rejoined group for reunion tour and album, meaning he'd achieved some personal peace with identity while maintaining public discretion that 2009 forced outing violated by eliminating his agency over whether, when, and how to share truth about himself with fans and public. The November timeline placed outing during holiday season, particularly cruel timing when family gatherings already create stress for people navigating authentic identity with potentially unsupportive relatives. Jonathan's forced revelation during this period compounded violation by eliminating buffer that strategic timing around personal support systems might have provided. His statement was remarkably brief. "I have lived my life very openly and have never hidden the fact that I am gay." This phrasing emphasized that coming out wasn't personal revelation, but public acknowledgement of truth that friends and intimates always knew, distinguishing between authentic living in private sphere versus managed public image that career required maintaining through strategic media management. But here's where Jonathan's forced November outing becomes cautionary tale about visibility's dangers. Coming out should be autonomous choice made when individuals feel ready, not coerced by extortionists or casual public outings by people lacking permission sharing others' private information for gossip value or personal benefit. The relationship with Harley Rodriguez that followed provided visible partnership. Jonathan's subsequent openness about relationship demonstrated that forced outing, while traumatic initially, enabled authentic living that closeting prevented. proving that even violations sometimes create opportunities for freedom that systematic hiding eliminated through career protection calculations prioritizing professional safety over personal fulfillment. His real estate career post-NKOTB provided financial independence. Jonathan's success beyond music meant forced outing didn't destroy economic security, demonstrating how career diversification protects against discrimination in single industry when talent and entrepreneurship create alternatives if entertainment systematically excludes authentic performers. Today, Jonathan Knight's November 2009 forced outing anniversary reminds us that coming out isn't always voluntary, and that extortion and casual outings by others violate autonomy by eliminating agency over profoundly personal decisions about whether, when, and how to share fundamental identity aspects with public. Drop a 3 if you think Jonathan Knight's November 2009 forced outing proves that coming out should be autonomous choice, and that extortion or casual outings by others constitute violations eliminating all agency over deeply personal decisions. 4. Ian McKellen, November Activism Anniversaries. Ian McKellen came out January 1988 on BBC Radio. But his November activism anniversaries commemorate his ongoing advocacy spanning decades, proving that coming out is beginning rather than endpoint when visibility becomes platform for systematic change requiring sustained commitment beyond single revelation moment that media treats as complete narrative arc. January 27, 1988. BBC Radio 3. Ian publicly acknowledged being gay while discussing Section 28. UK legislation prohibiting promotion of homosexuality in schools. That revelation sparked decades of activism that November events annually commemorate through his continued advocacy work spanning LGBTQ+ rights, HIV/AIDS awareness, and theater accessibility, demonstrating sustained commitment transcending single coming out moment. Here's what makes Ian's November activism particularly important for understanding visibility's responsibilities. He didn't just come out. He immediately connected personal truth to political advocacy by explaining that Section 28's homophobia made silence feel complicit. This demonstrated that visibility without activism means nothing when community faces systematic discrimination, requiring more than individual authenticity but collective political organizing. The age at coming out, 49, represented generation that built entire careers while closeted. Ian achieved theatrical knighthood and international fame before feeling safe revealing fundamental identity aspect, demonstrating how pervasive discrimination was when even celebrated performers with economic security feared professional consequences from honesty about who they loved. But his subsequent Lord of the Rings and X-Men franchise work proved that coming out didn't destroy commercial viability. Ian's Gandalf and Magneto became iconic roles, demonstrating that openly gay actors could anchor major franchises when talent transcended sexuality that studios historically weaponized, excluding gay performers from lucrative tentpole opportunities requiring perceived straight authenticity. The November LGBT History Month events in UK feature Ian regularly. His annual participation commemorates coming out anniversary while demonstrating that visibility requires ongoing commitment rather than single revelation before returning to career focus that treats sexuality as resolved issue requiring no further discussion or advocacy once disclosure occurs. His Stonewall UK co-founding demonstrated institutional commitment beyond personal visibility. Ian helped establish major LGBTQ+ rights organization, proving that celebrity platforms enable building systematic change infrastructure when visibility translates into resource mobilization and organizational leadership, rather than remaining individual achievement inspiring others without creating material support structures. But here's where Ian's decades of November activism become model for what post-coming-out responsibility looks like. He didn't treat revelation as endpoint. Every year brings renewed advocacy, fundraising, and public education work, demonstrating that visibility is platform for service rather than personal achievement, requiring gratitude without reciprocal community contribution. The regret he's expressed about not coming out earlier reveals psychological toll of strategic closeting. Ian publicly stated, "I would have been a different person and a happier one if he'd come out decades sooner," demonstrating how career protection through hiding creates lasting trauma even for successful people whose achievements would seem validating their strategic choices. His Shakespeare performances, while openly gay, challenged assumptions about romantic lead casting. Ian's continued classical theater work proved that gay actors could portray heterosexual characters authentically, demolishing myths that sexuality prevents accessing roles requiring romantic or heroic masculinity that heteronormative casting assumptions claimed required straight performers. Today, Ian McKellen's November activism anniversaries celebrate decades of sustained advocacy, proving that coming out is beginning rather than endpoint. His ongoing work demonstrates that visibility requires translating personal authenticity into systematic change benefiting community members lacking equivalent platforms or resources for individual advocacy work. Drop a 4 if you think Ian McKellen's November activism anniversaries prove that coming out is beginning rather than endpoint, and that visibility requires sustained advocacy translating personal authenticity into systematic community benefit. 5. Multiple November coming outs. Historical pattern analysis. November historically sees increased coming out rates. Combination of post-summer relationship visibility, pre-holiday family anxiety, and psychological timing creating pattern where fall months trigger revelations that spring and summer visibility cultivated before personal reckoning forces. Public acknowledgement that continued hiding became unsustainable psychologically or circumstantially. Statistical analysis reveals November trends. Multiple celebrities across decades chose November for coming outs, not coincidentally, but because seasonal timing creates psychological and practical conditions where visibility feels both necessary and possible when summer relationship development reaches point. Requiring public acknowledgement or holiday family gatherings create urgency about living authentically. Here's what makes November's coming out pattern particularly interesting for understanding disclosure psychology. Fall represents transition season. Summer's freedom giving way to winter's introspection creates temporal liminal space where change feels possible. This transitional energy, combined with impending holiday season family gatherings, creates dual pressure toward authenticity before navigating family events requiring either continued performance or honest revelation. The Thanksgiving proximity for Americans adds specific pressure. Many use November coming out as preparation for holiday gatherings, choosing to disclose before family events rather than during them, providing buffer for initial reactions processing before actual reunion occurs. This strategic timing demonstrates how coming out involves complex calculations about support systems, geographic distance, and temporal spacing, allowing emotional preparation. But November's coming out surge also reflects media narrative patterns. Entertainment media traditionally covers celebrity personal lives more intensely during fall. Award season positioning, year-end retrospectives, and holiday human interest angles create increased celebrity profile opportunities that some use for coming out announcements receiving maximum visibility during high attention period. The psychological pressure of fall darkness matters for mental health timing. Seasonal affective disorder and general fall-winter mood challenges create period where addressing long-term sources of psychological distress, like closeting's constant performance demands, becomes urgent when seasonal depression compounds existing identity suppression stress, creating crisis requiring resolution rather than continued avoidance. The school year timing affects younger people particularly. November falls within first semester, far enough into academic year that new social dynamics stabilize while early enough that coming out doesn't disrupt finals or graduation planning. This creates window where student coming outs cluster because institutional calendar provides optimal disclosure timing. But here's where November pattern reveals that coming out is never truly spontaneous. Even impulse disclosures reflect accumulated psychological pressure reaching breaking point. November's environmental and social factors simply provide specific triggers for revelations that months or years of internal struggle preceded before external circumstances made disclosure feel both necessary and possible simultaneously. The comparison between historical November coming outs and current ones demonstrates progress limitations. While 1980s to 90s November revelations often ended careers, current ones face less severe professional consequences. Yet persistent discrimination means that coming out still carries risks that heteronormative privilege never experiences when straight people's relationship revelations receive celebration rather than requiring courage that society reserves for our community's basic honesty. The media coverage evolution matters for understanding visibility's changing landscape. Early November coming outs received sensationalistic coverage treating sexuality as scandal. Current ones get increasingly normalized, acknowledgement reflecting cultural shift where coming out becomes less shocking while remaining significant for individuals experiencing revelation regardless of society's supposedly increased acceptance. Today, November's historical coming out pattern demonstrates how seasonal, psychological, and social factors combine, creating temporal windows where disclosure feels both necessary and possible. Understanding these patterns helps recognizing that coming out is never a simple decision, but complex calculation involving multiple factors that specific timing windows align, making revelation feel achievable. Drop a 5 if you think November's coming out pattern proves that disclosure timing involves complex psychological and social calculations, and that seasonal factors create specific windows where revelation feels both necessary and possible simultaneously. 5 November moments, 5 different demonstrations that coming out is never simple calculation but complex navigation of psychological pressure, career risk, community responsibility, and personal need for authentic living regardless of professional consequences. Zachary's post-tragedy revelation. Bob's contestant prompted sharing. Jonathan's forced outing violation. Ian's decades of sustained activism. November's seasonal pattern clustering disclosures during transitional period. The brutal truth? Coming out still costs more than it should. Every November anniversary reminds us that people lose jobs, families, and opportunities for basic honesty that heterosexual people take completely for granted. Progress means some survive disclosure, but survival shouldn't be victory when authentic living should be unremarkable rather than requiring courage that society celebrates while maintaining discrimination necessitating that bravery. Which November coming out anniversary matters most for understanding visibility's costs? These weren't publicity stunts. They were people choosing authenticity despite knowing discrimination would punish that choice because hiding was destroying them faster than honesty ever could. Subscribe because November commemorates warriors who chose truth over comfortable lies, and recognizing their courage means continuing fighting until coming out becomes unnecessary because visibility is simply expected rather than exceptional.